Okay, hey guys. So for this we'll Python 2 question for object-oriented programming. I guess disclaimer, I'm just gonna go through the first two questions on this worksheet. Um, Probably because I didn't exactly get to the last one and find like I didn't get to like formulate a way to explain it like succinct way. And also like I'm like kind of busy. I don't have time, but I will go over these first three questions in detail. So yeah, let's get started with this with Python 2 question. All right. So um, the question has this, I guess, yeah, it has classes force builder, and then within it there's two subclasses that inherit its methods called Jedi and then Sith. And Jedi and Sith look like they have their own some of their own methods. And I guess something else that I forgot to mention in the mini lecture is the use of the stir and repr other methods. Um, I will try my best to explain what these do as we go through the question. So starting from the top, we create a new object called Anakin, a new Jedi object called Anakin, and give it a name Anakin. And then we're going to try and retrieve Anakin.lightsaber and Anakin.force. So if you scroll back up here, we see that Jedi is a subclass of Force Widower, and then the lightsaber color is going to be blue. Sorry again. Lightsaber color is going to be blue, and then I think the other one it asked was dot force. Okay, yeah. So there's no force variable within the Jedi class, but we see in Force Wielder that force is set to 25, and since Jedi inherits from Force Wielder, force will be 25 for Jedi as well. So Anakin lightsaber color will be blue, and then force will be 25. Cool. Now, in the next couple lines, we see that we create a new Jedi object called Obi-Wan, and then Anakin.master is set to Obi-Wan, and then we're going to try and call Anakin.master. All right. So here we see, like, if you just think about it logically, Obi-Wan, Anakin.master is set to Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan set to this thing right here. So if we call Anakin.master, we're going to basically output Jedi, right? Obi-Wan. And you might be wondering, oh, isn't Anakin.master set to Obi-Wan? So shouldn't we be outputting Obi-Wan instead of like whatever this is? Um, well, you have to think about it like Obi-Wan is like an object, right? And we're setting Obi-Wan the object to a new Jedi, right? With the name Obi-Wan. So when we call Anakin.master, we're actually like getting the value of what Obi-Wan is, right? Or what Obi-Wan is set to. Okay. Next we have Jedi.master. All right. So if you scroll up, Jedi doesn't have a master method, and the Force Widow class also does not have the master method. And the only reason why Anakin.master outputted something was because we set it to Obi-Wan. But here, Jedi.master is not set to anything. Master is not a method of Jedi or Force Widow, so this will actually throw an attribute error. Right? Because Jedi naturally does not have a master method or variable. Okay, now we have Obi-Wan.force plus equals Anakin.force. And something to note is that Obi-Wan and Anakin both have force levels set to 25 initially. So Obi-Wan.force plus equal Anakin.force will change Obi-Wan's force to 50, right? And here's Obi-Wan, Anakin. So if we call Obi-Wan.force and Anakin.force, it's just going to be 50 and 25. Cool. Now we have Obi-Wan.train Anakin, Obi-Wan.force, and Anakin.force. All right, here's where things kind of get may seem confusing. So if we scroll up, Jedi does not have a train method, but Force Wielder does. So technically, Jedi has a train method. If you look in the train method, it takes in self and other, and the other dot force increases by the self dot force divided by 5. Now, you might be thinking, oh, when we called Obi-Wan dot train Anakin, there's only Anakin. So does that mean that Anakin is set to self and that there's no other method? Well, here we specified our Force Wielder who's training Anakin to be Obi-Wan. So in this case, actually self is already set to Obi-Wan, and other in this case is actually Anakin. So Obi-Wan.force is going to stay the same, but other, which is Anakin's force level, is going to increase by, right? Plus Obi-Wan divided by 5, and this is going to be 35. So when we call Obi-Wan.force and Anakin.force again, we're going to get 50 and 35. All right. Moving on to the next line, we have Jedi.train Obi-Wan and Anakin. So this is the more standard, I guess, standard way of calling the train method. Right? So we have Jedi.train self other. In this case, it's pretty obvious what self is and what other is. Self is Obi-Wan, Anakin is other. So we're basically going to do the same thing. Anakin's force level is now 35. So we're going to do 35 plus 50 divided by 5 equals 45. So, and Obi-Wan's force level stays the same. So we're going to have 40 and 45 when we call this line. Cool. Now we have a new Sith object called Sidious, right? Now, if we look into the Sith class, there are a couple things that happen when we instantiate new objects. Sorry. Okay. The very first thing is that the number of Sith, this class variable, this class variable increases by 1. And if the number of Sith is not equal to 2, then this line, print 2, there should be no more, no less, will get outputted, right? So when we call Sidious equals Sidious, the number of Sith increases by 1, and then we check if the number of Sith is not equal to 2. It is not equal to 2. So this print line will print, and we will get 2. There should be no more, no less. Okay. Now let's move on to the next lines. We have Force.wielder train Sidious Anakin. Anakin.lightsaber is changed to the color red, and we want to see what Anakin.lightsaber and Anakin.force will print. Okay, so Force.wielder.train, if you go back to the top, it is a valid method, and in this case, we're actually using it from the class where it was first instantiated. So here, Sidious will be self, and Anakin will be the other. So Anakin's force level will go up by whatever Sidious's force level was. And if you recall, in the force wielder class, the force level is always set to 25. So every single Jedi, every single Sith object we create will always have a force level of 25 initially. So it'll be 25 divided by 5 equals 50. So Anakin's lightsaber is going to be red now, and his force level is 50. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's 50. Cool. Yeah, my quotes here. Okay, now we call Jedi.lightsaber. I think this is kind of obvious, right? In the Jedi class, we have lightsaber that is set to blue, so we'll just basically print out blue. And then finally, or not finally, we have this print line, Sith Vader Sith Maul.num Sith. Okay, bear with me as I go through this line. First, we create Sith Vader. Now, when we create a new Sith object, the number of Sith here, right, goes up by 1, and then this if condition is not fulfilled, right? Because the number of Sith is equal to 2, so technically nothing is gonna like output first. But we're gonna create another Sith object called Maul, and that will increase the number of Sith to 3. So now, since that if condition is fulfilled, we're going to output. First, we're going to output 2. There should be no more, no less. Okay? And then what this print statement does is when we print Sith Vader, let's look into the Sith class and see that there's 2 dunder methods called stir and repper. Okay. So okay, this is coming from me. Stir is how we read code, and repper is how the developer/computer will read code. So when we call a statement like print, we're essentially saying, I want to see the code in a way, I want to see the output in a way that's readable for me. So we go into the stir method and it sees see that we're going to return Darth plus self.name. So if we go back to here, Sith.Vader, this will basically output Darth and the name, which is Vader. And the next one is Sith Maul dot num Sith. The number of Sith is 3, so Sith Maul dot num Sith will output 3. So yeah, this is what we will have from this print line. And finally, we have Rey, which is a new force builder. And on the very next line, we simply have Rey. Okay, so what the heck does this print? Or what the heck does this output? It's actually going to output main force wielder object. So what the heck just happened? So basically when we call Rey, the computer is gonna see, oh, you instantiated this object Rey, she's a force wielder. So basically she's an object, force wielder object. And so when you call Rey, the computer is gonna be like, this is what you created, so I'm gonna spit this what I got back to you, right? So that's why this calling Rey will output this. If we called just Anakin simply, I think it would be main Jedi object. Yeah. And then we have Rey dot lightsaber. Keep in mind that Rey is a force builder. She is neither a Jedi nor Sith, so her lightsaber color, she doesn't even have a lightsaber color. So this will actually also be an attribute error, because force builder does not have a lightsaber color. Yeah. Okay. So that was the what would Python do question, and hopefully that was helpful.